Shortcut makes it even easier to select objects in your image.
Yes and no. Sometimes if the objects that you're trying to select like have well-defined colors and well-defined edges, sometimes you cannot really tell depending on, like, this is a real object, so it's gonna have well-defined. But when they're drawn, the colors might blend, and you have a little bit of a trouble with that. So so he showed you, like, you can try it or like add it in there, and then maybe try to include the areas that were not selected. But sometimes it could be difficult. I don't think there is a magic wand video.
The Magic Wand tool is a powerful feature in Photoshop, designed for selecting similar areas of color or tone in your images with ease. This versatile tool is perfect for creating masks or making adjustments to specific parts of an image. Press the W key on your keyboard to quickly access the tool or find it in the toolbar. With the Magic Wand tool active, click on the desired area. A new selection outline will appear automatically. To add more areas to your selection, hold down the Shift key while clicking. If you need to deselect or remove part of the selection, hold down the Alt or the Option key and click on the selected area. By default, the Magic Wand tool will make a selection based on the active layer. If you'd like to sample all layers, just enable Sample All Layers in the Options bar. Adjust the tolerance in the Options bar to control the sensitivity of the color matching. A lower number results in a more precise color match, while a higher number selects a broader range of similar colors. For even more control, uncheck the Contiguous option in the Options bar. This allows you to select non-adjacent areas of similar color throughout the image.
I would not have picked that image as a sample for explaining this, because that image is a very complicated set of colors all over the place. Not sure what you're going to be able to do with that many colors selected all over the different places. But if you want to play with changing colors, it's a chameleon. So let's play chameleon and try to change your colors to funky colors. So that would be an interesting, fun activity. But this is a difficult image. Like the one that we have here doesn't have that many, but certain kind of colors, shiny colors, things that have glares or things like that, are difficult to select. All right, and then we have the crop tool. Both the crop and the crop tool and the perspective crop tool were explained. Frame tool,
the Frame tool allows you to create placeholder frames, which can later be filled with placed images. This convenient tool is perfect for planning compositions, organizing your design elements, or creating mockups. To access the Frame tool, press K on your keyboard or find it in the toolbar. Click and drag to draw a frame on the canvas. You can add an image to the frame by dragging and dropping directly into the frame. It will automatically scale to fit the frame's dimensions. Both the frame and the image inside can be selected, resized, or rotated together or separately. To select the frame or image independently, use the Move tool. Click to select the frame and double-click to select the image. To replace an image in a frame, simply drag and drop a new image on top of the frame. The new image will automatically scale to fit the frame, replacing the previous image.
That tip is really good. Sometimes you just want to try an image and you have things already selected there, and then you go, I don't like that. So you might want to try a different one. So the whole process is already made. You just drop the image in there, and then you eliminate all the legwork that you did before. So that's a good tip. Yeah, as you notice, whenever he did that in the video, it didn't scale properly, but then you use some of the tools that we have, covered before to adjust it, like move it or adjust it or grab it from the corner and adjust it. Yeah, different things that you can do in there just to make it look perfectly. Now notice that some of these had like a little triangle here in the corner. When you have a little triangle in the corner, that means there's more than one thing in there. Like, come on, don't show me the video. So there I have 2. Like that one, I have 4. So for this one, come on, go away. For this one, I don't have anything. There is no triangle. That means there's nothing else. Now, obviously, if you want to select learn more, again, put it, why is it, must like that corner. Right, so let's put it over here. So this is like a little bit of some of the things that you saw in there. You know, same thing that he said. Obviously, you have like place images into frames, tools, how to mask. You know, we haven't talked about masking. We're going to talk about masking much later. Make a kaleidoscope portrait of the clone stamp tool. Use the healing brush to remove unwanted, so there is like a bunch of different things that you can expand your knowledge with. I do recommend, encourage for you to kind of do that. So that one did not have like a little triangle. The next one is called the eyedropper tool, and then we have a little video.
The eyedropper tool is an essential part of every design workflow in Photoshop, as it lets you easily sample colors from your image. This is especially useful when you need to match colors or create a harmonious color palette. To quickly access the eyedropper tool, simply press I on the keyboard. This handy shortcut makes it even easier to start sampling colors. To use the eyedropper tool, click and drag it over the image. When the sampling ring is enabled in the options bar, you'll see colors being sampled as you move the tool. To sample a color from your image and set it as a foreground color, simply click on your image. You can also add this color to your swatches panel. You can then use the sample color with other tools to apply it to different areas of your image. In the option bar, you can customize the eyedropper tool's sample size. Adjusting the sample size will determine how the tool averages the colors in the area you're sampling, giving you more control over the color selection process.
Yep. Notice that when he was sampling, the colors were like showing right here in this little area that we went over before. All right, so now he talked about the eyedropper, and then he talked about the color sampler tool. Don't think there are different videos. Yeah, the eyedropper tool and the color sampler tool. None of the other ones have videos in there. Ruler tool, no video. So if you want to learn some more about these, then you just have to go. We're not going to cover them in the class because there's too many here. Like node tool, I think that one is obvious. 1, 2, 3, count tool. No, we're not going to cover those. This is the spot healing brush.
The spot healing brush tool is perfect for removing small imperfections, such as dust spots, blemishes, or scratches from your image. It works by blending the area you want to remove with the surrounding area, creating a seamless patch. To quickly access the spot healing brush tool, press J on your keyboard or find it in the toolbar. Once you have the appropriate brush size, click on the area you want to remove. The spot healing brush tool will automatically sample the surrounding area and replace the spot with a seamless patch, making the imperfection disappear. This can even be done on a new layer. Just be sure to check the option box, Sample All Layers. For easy object removal, the spot healing brush tool is the go-to solution.
Yeah, I do like that. That tool it's like I use it all the time. You don't have to use it just for what he just showed you in there. It has other purposes. Just play around with it. Sometimes you create, I have created like awesome patterns because I was just playing around with it. Playing around in Photoshop based on what you know, the kind of what the tools kind of do, and then you just use them like to explore. What if I do this? Check to see what the results will be. I think you'll be surprised. All right, so we have the remove tool. I think it has a video.
The remove tool effectively replaces areas of your images with realistic and relevant content, allowing you to eliminate any distracting regions or elements regardless of their size. This artificial intelligence-powered tool can make objects and people vanish seamlessly, as if they were never present in the image. To use the remove tool, first select it from the toolbar. Use a brush slightly larger than the area you want to fix, ensuring you cover the entire area with one stroke. Note that brush hardness and opacity does not affect this tool. Enable the Sample All Layers option in the options bar to sample data from all visible layers, promoting a non-destructive workflow. The results will be even better if you cover a little bit of the background behind the object or person. For complicated brushing, use the multi-stroke mode, by turning off the Remove After Each Stroke checkbox in the options bar. Another remarkable feature is its ability to connect patterns or lines, such as maintaining the continuity of a horizon or fences that were previously hidden behind a removed object. For seamless object removal, the Remove tool is the go-to option.
Yeah, no. uh, as you have seen in um, while I was working on this bear, depending on what you have to remove, it might work good. Like the image he selected was perfect because all the items that you want to remove that were like really separated from each other. So don't think we have a video for the healing brush. Yeah, the healing brush allows you to use parts of that apple. You're using parts of it, to kind of fix the rest of the apple. So you're repairing imperfections. It works good as long as you're repairing an area that might be repairable. Now you all have other areas in the same like image that you can use to sample and repair it. Sometimes you just have to play around with it to see what works. Sometimes it creates like a smudge. I don't. I like it, but it's not my go-to. Then we have the patch tool, the content aware, and the red eye. We don't need to go into those. And we have
the brush tool in Photoshop is like a real-world brush that you would use for painting on a canvas. To quickly access the brush tool, press B on your keyboard or find it in the toolbar. With the brush tool selected, you can choose from a variety of brush shapes, sizes, and hardness options in the brush picker and brush settings found in the options bar and brush panels. You can also use the bracket keys on your keyboard to make your brush larger or smaller. And the hardness setting will change the edge of your brush to be a soft edge brush or a hard edge brush. This gives you complete control over the look and feel of your brush strokes. To start painting, click and drag on your layer to add brush strokes. You can change the color of your brush by sampling a new color with the eyedropper tool. Additionally, you can change the brush tool's opacity and flow settings to create a more subtle or stronger effects depending on your needs. With this powerful tool at your fingertips, you'll be able to create stunning custom artwork and add texture and depth to your designs.
Yep. Just play around with it. There is also a brush uses a brush tool when you want to have more like a pencil, more control of what you're doing. Then you can use the pencil tool. But paints hard edges brush. It's like using like a fine brush that is very, very, very fine instead of having like a broad stroke like brush. So, but when you want to learn some more about that, just click learn more. We're not going to cover in the class. There's too many things in here to cover. So the color replacement tool pretty much does what you're saying in there. And one of the videos he has shown you, how do you play around with that. And the mixer brush tool is not something that we're going to cover in the beginner's class. You will need to play with it for a little bit, play with all the different settings, different things that you have in there. That's pretty much, kind of like one of, anytime you're playing with brushes, it's going to take a while. Like whoever, this was created by AI, but notice that the texture here, don't want to delete anything. So the texture here, the texture there, the texture in the hair, the texture in the glasses, you have like a bunch of different textures here, like the texture on this hat. This will take a very long time, if not days, many, many hours. So the writing, right now, the AI is not really being very good. I haven't seen none of the AIs that I know of, artificial intelligence, tools that are available out there, like Stable Diffusion, Leonardo, you know, they cannot do writing. That's a human quality that is going to be a while before the AI can do that. So when you're dealing with different textures, like this, if I wanted to change this, I could probably change the color, but changing the texture would be extremely difficult, if not impossible. Now, so he showed you a little bit of the brush tool. There is also a pencil tool. Now, pretty much what he said, like the brush tool is just like a brush, and obviously the pencil tool, it would be just like a pencil. Now, when you click on this, notice that I have my brushes up there. If I click on my pencil, then it turns into a pencil. Then you have all of these like options that now you have at your disposition, right? They don't have a video for the pencil, but I think you pretty much understand what that is. Then we actually have color replacement tool and a mixer brush tool. We're not gonna cover those. They didn't really cover those videos. Now, this is the next tool that we have. It's like really awesome, especially when you're trying to deal with this problem that we have here, right? So let me clean it now. So let me see. Do I have a video? Yes, we have a video. Then it comes my favorite kind of tool. Right, so this is the clone stamp tool.
The clone stamp tool is perfect for seamlessly blending areas of your images, fixing imperfections, or creating interesting visual effects. It works by copying pixels from a source area and duplicating them to a target area, helping you to achieve a variety of retouching tasks. You can quickly access the clone stamp tool by using S on your keyboard or finding it in the toolbar. To use the clone stamp tool, start by adjusting the brush size and hardness in the options bar. Next, hold down the Alt key or Option key on a Mac and click the area of the image you want to copy. This will define the source point for the cloned pixels. Once you've selected your source point, release the Alt or Option key and click and drag over the new area where you want the copied pixels to appear. The clone stamp tool will duplicate the source pixels onto the target area, creating a seamless blend. You can even use it on a new layer by changing your sample to current and below or all layers. This powerful retouching tool will help you achieve professional looking results in your designs and images.
Yes, it does, as long as you have like clear, around the area that you're trying to sample, it's clear. Otherwise, it's gonna sample the other area. It's a good tool to use, but whatever you're trying to kind of sample from, like what he did with this one over here, that's pretty good because he just copied this one and there's nothing around it. But if you're trying to get around another image that is like too close to another one, it requires a little more practice and precision. Then we have the pattern stamp tool. I don't think there's a video there. Yeah, it doesn't have a video. So paints using a chosen pattern. So this is like when you want to go into a like a shape and fill it in with a pattern, then it works. It works fine. Gonna have to like pay a little more attention when it comes to the edges. Anything that's come close to edges, removing it, copying it, it always causes a little bit of problematic kind of things. So like the history brush tool, kind of like the undo, as you can see in there. So you erase that, and then you click on it, and you just paint it back. Right? Kind of functions kind of like the same. You did all that, then you just like, oh, I just want this. I just don't want to have all the old cloud. Restores parts of an image to an earlier state. Not quite the same as undo, but I think it functions the same as the undo. If I was trying to select certain items in like in this jacket or anything that I'm trying to select in here, it would be very difficult because it will try to uh, kind of clone not just like this certain kinds of sections, but everything that is around it. So it works well as long as you have the items that you're trying to clone are separate from each other, like this button. Like if I wanted to copy this button, I wanted a button right there, or I want to put once I get rid of this Y and this whatever that is an L, then I can grab and put another button in there. If I wanted to, I can also copy that area and make it seem like the buttons are hidden behind it. So, so I could probably do that. The white area, this white shirt area, probably be no problem. But when it comes to the jacket, this jacket would be a nightmare to try to fix it to eliminate all the writing. I will probably, if I was trying to do something like that by hand, it will take me hours and hours and hours. Probably the easiest thing that you can do with this type of image in here, difficult image, will be to use AI to fix it. You know, use this. Problem is when AI samples this, it's gonna sample all the writing. So like AI does not do well with writing right now. So it will not be good. Now you also have, they didn't cover this in the video, it's called the pattern stamp tool. So like that's when you copy a pattern. Like if I wanted to copy this guy over here, I can just go, and copy it. Problem is, this is not a very good image to try to copy. Where am I going to put it? It really doesn't fit anywhere else in here. Well, I can put it in the hat. Problem is, it's going to sample the background of the jacket, so not very good in there. But I can probably do this side, that one, copy it on that side. Once I have eliminated all the letter, the letters that we have in there. So if I can copy this side from this side, I will have something made more symmetrical if I'm pursuing symmetry.
The eraser tool is used for removing pixels from a layer, revealing the layers underneath. This versatile tool is used for correcting mistakes or removing objects from a layer. To access the eraser tool, press E on the keyboard or find it in the toolbar. Make sure you have the correct layer selected, as the eraser tool will only affect the active layer. Click and drag the eraser tool over the area of the image you want to erase. As you erase pixels, the underlying layers will become visible. Customize the eraser tool to suit your needs by adjusting size, shape, and opacity in the options bar. Choose a larger size to cover more area and a smaller size for more precise erasing. Changing the shape creates different erasing effects. And adjusting the opacity controls how much of the underlying layers are revealed. If you want to hide part of a layer with the ability to make it back visible at any time, try a layer mask instead of the eraser tool. This will provide more editing flexibility and won't permanently delete any pixels on the image.
Now, very important thing he said there is that notice that he had two layers, a background layer and the brush stroke that he had in there. And as he was deleting that, he was revealing the background. If you don't have a background, what you're going to reveal is what's called the transparent layer that is behind pretty much everything. So you have to make sure that you have, when you're going to use this, that you will have another layer background or something behind it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. I think we have the background. I think the background eraser tool is pretty. I really haven't found any use for it. Erases the pixels of a sample color. You can experiment some more over here. We're not going to go over a lot of all of these. I'm going to cover all of them so you know where they are. And if there's a video, I'm going to show you the video. But if we don't have, in the beginner's class, we don't have time to cover pretty much everything that is there. Come on, video. There we go.
The gradient tool creates a smooth blend or fade between two or more colors. To use the gradient tool, first choose the type of gradient you'd like to apply. Options include linear, radial, angle, reflected, or diamond, and can easily be selected from the options bar or properties panel. Next, click and drag the gradient tool on your canvas to apply the gradient. The direction and length of the drag will determine the direction and length of your gradient. If you want to adjust the gradient, simply click and drag the gradient handles or explore the various gradient options, such as adding colors and changing opacity in the properties panel. To add colors to the gradient, simply click anywhere along the bottom of the gradient slider. Choose the color you'd like to add and move it into the right location. You can also click along the gradient path to add a new color stop. Remember, you can quickly access the gradient tool by pressing G on your keyboard or finding it in the toolbar. With this versatile tool at your fingertips, you'll be able to create beautiful color transitions and enhance your designs in no time.
Yep, and gradients are one of my favorite things to do. I don't like plain colors. I think they're boring. The paint bucket tool, I think we have a video there.
The Paint Bucket tool in Photoshop is a convenient feature for filling areas of your image with a solid color or pattern. This tool is perfect for quickly changing backgrounds, adding color to shapes, or filling in selections. To access the Paint Bucket tool, press G on the keyboard or find it in the toolbar. Make sure you have the right layers selected in the Layers panel, or choose All Layers in the Options bar if you want to sample from all layers. Before using the Paint Bucket tool, select the desired color or pattern in the Options bar. Click on an area of your image with the Paint Bucket tool to fill it with a color or pattern. If you want to fill non-adjacent areas with a color or pattern, uncheck the contiguous option in the options bar. Adjust the tolerance to determine how much of your image will be filled with a color or pattern. The lower the tolerance number, the more exact the color match will be, and the higher the tolerance number, the more of your image will be filled.
So this is the one that I was kind of mentioning before. So when you have sample a color, you can go and use this one to repeat it in there, and even a pattern. He didn't show you a pattern. So depending on what the patterns are, but this was like a very good, nice short video. So the Dodge tool lightens an area, like there. Probably there's too much shadow in that video. And lightens the dog. The burn tool darkens an area. Like there. And the sponge tool doesn't have any video or any little animation. So one of those that we're not going to cover. But you can play around with it to see what it does. All right, this is the pen tool.
The pen tool is an essential feature in Photoshop that allows you to create precise shapes, paths, and selections. To use the pen tool in Photoshop, locate it in the toolbar or press P on your keyboard. Then select either path or shape in the options bar. A path defines an area and is perfect for making cutouts, while a shape can be filled with different colors and outlined with a stroke. Click on the canvas to create anchor points with the pen tool. For straight lines, simply click on each point, and for curved lines, click and drag to shape the curves. You can adjust the path shape by dragging the handles that appear on each anchor point, enabling you to create smooth curves and straight lines as desired. After creating a path with the pen tool, you can refine it by adjusting anchor points, modifying control handles, or even adding or deleting anchor points. Press the Control or Command key to temporarily switch to the Direct Selection tool for selecting and manipulating individual anchor points and control handles.
Yep. Reminds me of tools that we're going to have in Illustrator. Right? Now, so we have a free form. So the pen tool kind of stays within a boundaries. The free form, you're free to roam wherever it is you're trying to do. Then we have the curvature pen, that one creates curves. Then we have the add an anchor point. So if you have some some areas already selected, you can add an anchor point. An anchor point allows you to, like to twist it or move it around in a different kind of direction. Um, Cannot add those anchor points too close to, to some other ones. And the lead is obviously you remove it. We're going to continue. We're going to try to finish the tool panel so I can show you some things that you can do as part of this class as some beginner and maybe kind of intermediate things that you can do. We finished with the eraser tool. We talked about the background eraser. We already did that when we're doing this. We're not going to do the magic eraser. Some of the things that you do here are intermediate to advanced. Since this is a beginner's class, then I am not going to be touching that, but you're more than welcome to click on this area here that it says learn more, and then you can erase. Then you can learn some more.